we have the right expert that's joining us here today. And I've got no one else but Miss Nora with Nourasbooks. Welcome back to the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me, Eric. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Absolutely. We always have a great conversation, and I learned a lot, and we're obviously, educating our viewers, our potential new business owners, nonprofits, that are getting started. And, that's the reason why we like to have this conversation with many different business professionals from different walks of life so that we can provide this information to everyone who's thinking about starting a business or maybe a nonprofit. And that's the reason why you're here. We know that Nourasbooks, for the big part, of Nourasbooks, you guys focus on nonprofit organizations, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, and what are some of the most common financial missteps that you have seen that a nonprofit starts with, and then you have to go back and try to help them a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So the most common missteps would be really like any business, the cash flow. Cash flow, every business have, including nonprofits. And where we come to help the nonprofits is putting them in a cash flow management, make sure they're building their donor base, because donor base is really the backbone for any nonprofit. Like if you have a lot of nonprofits have rely on grants. If they get a big grant, that's not going to be allowing them to grow, but most of the time they don't. So let's say if you are in business and you have one client that's making your paycheck, helping you pay your team, pay your business overhead. If that client no longer interested in your service, your business is gonna go down. You don't no longer have a business. You cannot pay your staff. You cannot pay yourself. Same thing with nonprofits. They have to diversify their funding, and the best way to diversify is really having that donor base where they can have 75% of their income coming from their donor. That is the backbone for any organization. That's what we advise. This is what we focus on any nonprofit, and then making sure they are working on their cash flow management so they manage those funds very well.
Absolutely. So that's just either one or just a few of the missteps, the mishaps that could potentially happen when it comes to the financial stability of a nonprofit. And so having you by the nonprofit side is basically going to cut that to a minimum and potentially not have any of those issues at all, having you by their side. So thank you for sharing that. We certainly do appreciate it. Now,